Hello and welcome to TEJ Viewpoint, your trusted platform for news making waves in Nigeria and beyond. Here are the top stories making headlines. The presidency is facing mounting questions after documents revealed that a presidential council it recently described as fictitious received more than 1.3 billion naira in the 2026 federal budget. The controversy follows the presidency's insistence that the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, also known as the Presidential Economic Advisory Council, never existed and was not recognized by the federal government. However, an investigation by the Elite Journal found that the council was listed in the 2026 Appropriation Act with a total of 1.302 billion naira. According to the budget document, more than 1 billion naira was earmarked for recurrent expenditure, while 300 million naira was allocated for capital projects. The budget also contains detailed expenditure items, including over 573 million naira for salaries, 229 million naira for allowances, and 182.5 million naira for logistics for a proposed World Investment Summit 2026, and additional funds for strategic negotiations and leadership programs. The revelation has intensified scrutiny of the office of the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, with observers demanding explanation over how an agency now described as fictitious found its way to the national budget and allegedly operating from the Federal Secretariat in Abuja. The presidency has maintained that it neither recognized nor authorized the council. Moving on, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called on the federal government to publish the beneficiaries of the 501 billion naira bond issued under the Presidential Power Sector Debt Reduction Program. Atiku's demand follows claims by the Association of Power Generation Companies that electricity generation companies are yet to receive the full proceeds of the intervention despite government assurances. The federal government had announced earlier this year that it successfully floated the inaugural bond to reduce debt owed to electricity generation companies. However, Atiku argues that Nigerians deserve to know how much was paid, who received the funds, and why power sector debts continue to rise despite repeated government intervention. He also called for a comprehensive public audit of all power sector intervention funds under the current administration, insisting that every naira borrowed in the name of Nigerians must be fully accounted for. In other news, the Department of State Services, DSS, has arraigned 5 individuals before the Federal High Court in Abuja over allegations that they concealed the whereabouts of former Bayelsa State Governor Temipre Silva. The defendants are facing a 2-count charge by alleging that they became accessories after hiding the former governor, who prosecutors describe as a fugitive. The 5 suspects pleaded not guilty. Justice Peter Lifu granted each of them bail in the sum of 5 million naira, with 2 shorties who must reside in Abuja and provide valid tax clearance certificates. The case has been adjourned for trial. The development comes months after federal prosecutors filed charges against 6 other suspects over an alleged plot to overthrow President Bola Tinubu, a case in which Silva was mentioned but not listed as a defendant. Finally, the Nigerian Union of Teachers in Oyo State has suspended its industrial action and has directed public primary and secondary school teachers to resume work today. The union says the decision follows assurances from the Oyo State government to strengthen security in schools after the recent abduction of teachers and pupils from Orire local government area. In a statement jointly signed by the state chairman, Fatai Hassan, and Secretary Olukayode Salami, the union said the suspension also followed consultation with the state government, appeals from stakeholders, and the directives from the union's national leadership. Teachers are expected back in classrooms as authorities implement additional security measures across affected communities. And that's it on this edition of TEJ Viewpoint. For more trending stories and in-depth analysis, kindly visit tejcoms.com. Thank you for watching.